Now, a lot of people say it's very difficult to get into the real estate market, especially in Toronto and the GTA. But the reason is number one is going to be coming up with that down payment, and number two is going to be qualifying for that mortgage. But let me tell you, we got a solution for you. I'm Bawanka with the Compass team.
And it's Safraz with the Compass team.
And today, what we're going to be talking about is joint venture partnerships, how they work, why you should use them, when to use them, and everything in between. Now, Safraz, why would somebody do a joint venture partnership?
So we have a lot of clients, right? Different age groups, different stages of their lives. And they say, Safraz Bawanka, I can afford the monthly holding costs. That's not the issue. The two issues that they have are either the down payment or the income to qualify for a mortgage. Those are the biggest challenges that they have, although they can afford the $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 a month of holding costs every single month. So that's the issue that we have. So that's really why we talk always, if you don't want to do house hacking and you're more investor focused, really open your mind to a joint venture partnership.
Yeah. So let's talk about, I got a story for you guys. The first property I ever bought, and that was a joint venture partnership. Now, I bought it with two of my really close friends, and we had been talking about buying real estate and getting real estate for a long time. And we said, you know what? Like, if we do it together, it's going to be a lot easier because we all pool our money, and we also are going to have a lot less risk. And
That's
a lot less headache, a lot less things to deal with, just because there's three people tackling one problem as opposed to one person tackling it on their own.
That's important. So it's like, let's say you're like, for me, especially when you joint partner, it's really important that in an ideal world, you'll find someone who covers your weaknesses, right? You might be great at running the numbers, making sure you have the best tenants, XYZ, but maybe one of your partners is pretty handy. So now instead of having to call a handyman every single time, be like, hey, John, HVAC is broken, this is broken, that's broken. Maybe they'd fix it, so you don't have to go out, find a person to do all of that. So it's really mitigating risk and having to always deal with something in case something does go wrong.
Yeah.
God forbid, we hope everything goes smooth, but we know life doesn't work like that. There's always going to be something that comes up. And it's better when you have two minds at the problem versus just your mind at all the time.
No, for sure. So what we decided to do, and we all, like you said, we have different personalities. Different people are good at different things. But it's just so much easier tackling a problem when you have somebody to talk to, somebody to bounce it off. And a lot of times someone's going to be busy, but another person is going to be free and going to be able to handle that. But really the biggest thing is going to be just pooling your money together. Instead of having to put down 100%, you put down 50% or you put down 33.3%. So when we were buying, it was like, okay, what are we going to buy? And what we wanted to get was a duplex. So we found a duplex. It was in Oshawa. I think we bought somewhere around 350,000, and we put down roughly 5%. And that house was cash flowing for us every single month.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yeah. So we're talking like maybe a little, not too long ago, but now you're probably looking maybe a similar house, 556, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, you can buy a similar house to
In
that,
Oshawa.
600, maybe 700,000.
In Oshawa.
But also the rent is going to be a lot
way
higher
higher.
as well, which is going to help. So even me, if you're thinking about getting a duplex or something like that, I still believe Oshawa is a good place to buy because the rent there is a lot higher than what you would think.
So what made you buy that as a joint venture? Why didn't you just buy just out of curiosity? Why didn't you just buy yourself?
Too much to deal with. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't a real estate agent at that time. I didn't have the knowledge and the skills that I have now. I just used to be a laborer. I was a guy who was a laborer and a personal trainer, and I knew nothing about being a landlord, about just buying a house. Buying a house is a big decision, and you know nothing about buying a house until you buy a house.
Yeah, 100%. So would you have bought it? Would you? You know how you? So you guys bought it. But do you think you would have bought it at all, just by yourself?
100% no.
Okay.
1,000% I would have not bought it.
So what
by
you're
myself.
saying is because your friends were open to doing the joint venture partnership, it allowed you to even buy it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have bought it. You would have you would have sat on the
I would have
sidelines.
sat on the sidelines. I wouldn't even looked at a place. I wouldn't even thought about real estate.
Wow. So in your case, and as in many situations, you were able to get in the market because of the joint venture
Yes.
partnership.
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yes.
That's really incredible. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so that's like a lot of times there's always a reason why I can't get into the market because of this. I can't get into the market because of this. If you have a job, if you have decent credit, if you have some sort of savings, like you don't have to have $100,000 ready to go. If you have some sort of savings, you can get a property, but you have to do certain things. You have to be more creative about it. You have to find ways. And a lot of times I don't have two of my closest friends who I can partner with, who I can do a deal with. Well, you can always just reach out to us, and we have people who we could put you in partnership with. But I don't know the person. Okay, all the time, people meet each other online, they start dating, and they get married. You didn't know this person. So this is what I'm saying. You can meet somebody, but what you have is your values are aligned.
Absolutely.
You're
It's
looking
really
to do the
important.
same thing. You're both, I want to buy real estate, and I want to buy real estate, and I want to make money in real estate, and I want to make money in real estate, and I want to have an asset in real estate,
Yep.
and I want to have an asset in real estate, and I don't have enough money. Both of us together, now we have enough money. So that's kind of what you want to look at with a joint venture partnership. It's always going to be more fun and easier if it's a
much
person that
easier.
you already know.
Much easier.
Maybe it's someone in your family. You can always do that as well. But if you don't have someone, reach out to us because we have a huge list of investors, and we can always put you in touch with someone and find you someone that you can work with.
Yeah, so it's not just like, hey, Blanca, let's go buy this. We don't need a contract. No, we do contract. It's like the marriage situation. There is a contract. You have to have a contract with the lawyers to discuss what percentage do you own. Do you own 33? Maybe this person only brought in 25%. Whatever the percentage, we always do it on a legal basis so that you're protected all around. So you don't have an issue with this person. Of course, it's you're going in blind, but by having all these covers protecting you, you don't have to worry about the potential downfalls of doing this joint venture partnership.
Yeah,
right?
and one of the things I would say is when you are doing a joint venture partnership, majority of the time you don't want to be living there. Sometimes you can, but then it becomes like, okay, how much is the person going to pay for rent, and how are you going to take care of the
more
place?
complicated.
It's not like, it's very hard to be 50-50 when someone lives there because someone's getting more and someone's getting less. Those are some of the things that come into it. But when people are good friends, I think something like that becomes a lot easier. So I'll tell you a story of a client that I have. They actually just purchased a home now. Each of them, they already own a property. Been homeowners for 2-3 years, good friends, known each other for a while, and they decided, okay, you know what? It's time that we buy a property. And I found them a nice triplex, and one of them is going to be living in it. He'll be living in it. He'll rent out his other place where he has.
Yep.
But they were also able to work it out and just talk it through, like what are we going to do? Maybe you're going to do some of the renovations while you're living in it. I'll handle some of the other things. But they're able to find out a partnership and make that partnership work. But again, it's much easier with somebody else for the down payment, but also for the risk that comes with it and dealing with you're going to have 2 other tenants that you have to deal with.
Exactly. So maybe, in that specific situation, the person who lives there can almost be like a property manager. They can collect the rent, they can make sure everything is functional in the house. And the 2 other partners can be more like, sometimes there's situations we have where they could be like silent partners. Mm-hmm. They brought all the funds, they sit down once a month to run the numbers, and that's it. They don't care if the toilet's broken, the light's broken, nothing of the sort. They're more silent than maybe 1 or 2 of the partners. Really case by case. But even in that situation, like I have a client who one person fronted 100% of the money, 100% of the down payment. And this was a bigger deal. They bought a bungalow, okay, and this guy he built homes. So what they did was, the guy was like, okay, I'm putting the 25% plus all construction costs. The only thing you need to bring to the table is to build the house for me, and I'll pay for everything. We're securing the labor, and both of them combined were able to do this project over 2 years. They bought the bungalow for $920. They spent for construction about $600K. Now the house is listed for $2.3 million.
That's a good joint venture partnership right there.
But the first person was like, I don't want to be involved in all of this. Mm-hmm. Here's the money. Make sure it's managed well. We'll sit down once a month. But I don't want to even see the property. Just deal with it. Let me know when we're ready to sell. Over 2 years. Right? So that person was like 100% silent.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're not saying to get into a joint venture partnership to make tons of money.
Yes.
The biggest reason why you want to do a joint venture partnership is because it's lower risk and it's a lot easier to get started, and whenever there's a problem you have someone who's going to be able to help you.
Yeah, especially like, for me, when I was younger, I didn't like joint partnerships. I just wanted to do everything myself. Now that I'm a little older, I understand like the risk factors, especially like in the last couple of years in Toronto real estate with the downturn, right? It's great when you're making profit. Everybody's like, I should have bought 100%, right? Fantastic. Life is great. But when there is a downturn, right? When things get a little tough, right? Perhaps one person loses their job at the time. Like that can happen, right? But, being a 33% owner, maybe even a 50% owner, right? You don't have to have all of this stress on you. And, if the market does go down, let's say 100K, instead of you losing 100K, at least you only lost 50K, which is 50% better in my opinion,
100%.
So like for me, it's like, especially as I've gotten a little older, it's the risk mitigation. You're not all in 100%. You're 50%, right? You still get to eat the profits. Fantastic. But the risk loss, you just have to risk. I'll take that any day of the week this time in my life.
No, for sure. I think it's very easy to get greedy.
Yeah.
To think, I want 100%. When I'm making more money, I want to make 100% of that money, even though it hasn't come yet. I want 100% of that money. And there's a really good quote. I don't know who it's by, but it says, alone you go fast, but together you go far. Yeah. So this is also, you're setting yourself up for longevity over trying to make a quick buck in trying to flip a pre-construction, something like that. And yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people who have bought pre-construction when, back in 2019, 2020, and, they wanted 100% of it. And now you're dealing with 100% of the downfall. Whereas if you went 50-50 with somebody, you're only going to be dealing with 50% of that.
Yeah. To your point you made, like, when I was younger, I had a lot of opportunities to go 50-50 with people. They'd always ask me, because I wasn't a real estate agent, but, I already owned a couple of properties. They'd be like, oh, let's go this 50-50. I'd be like, in my head right away, I was like, why would I do that when I could just do 100%? But the problem, same thing that everybody else has, right? Like I had the income, but I didn't have 20% down as an investor. I didn't have it. So now, especially looking at what has happened in real estate, I know I could have easily doubled the amount of doors I had and my net worth had I just been open to being, even a 33% partner. As long as, I could bring some money, they bring some money. I could have done way more in real estate had I been open to it, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
And life in hindsight, of course. But now I'm open to it,
I think that's very good. I think that's very good what you're saying about being open, because you don't have to make a decision.
Yep.
But if you're open, you learn a little bit more, and you just keep on learning a little bit more, and then you're going to feel comfortable to move forward with it. But if you're not open and you just really make a decision right there without asking any questions, without finding out anything, you'll never do anything.
Yeah, it's like even you put me in touch with somebody because I had a client who wanted to get into like Airbnb investments. That person had the down payment and the income, but they didn't have the knowledge of real estate. So I put them in touch with someone who had the knowledge of real estate, saying, we need to reno this, we need to paint this, we're going to do Airbnb, this is how we're going to do it. And you put me in touch with them, and I put them in touch with my guys. and we were able to do a deal. And the truth of the matter is, neither party could have done that by themselves. Like it was neither party couldn't have bought that investment property by themselves. One person has great expertise and knowledge, and the other person has all the finances. But by putting them together, they were able to buy and close and have a very successful Airbnb project just in the last couple of months.
Yeah, no, for sure. We have clients who we've helped get Airbnb properties as two people. If that's something that you want to know more about, you can always feel free to reach out. There's a link right below. You click on that, you go to discovery call, set up a discovery call, and any questions that you have that we've been talking about today, you can ask and we'll be able to dive deeper into. But if you just want to know just a little bit, leave a comment. We can help you with that. We can help you with that as well. But Safraz, what's your final pieces of advice when it comes to joint venture partnership, and how do you feel about it? Because it sounds like you've made changes over time.
I would say definitely be open to it. Number one, open to it, but at the same time, make sure that you understand who your partner is, right? Maybe go on a coffee, understand their finances. You have to have, it's a relationship. We'll call it what it is.
Yes.
It's a relationship. It's a business relationship, and just be open to the idea, number one. But number two is open communication. Hey man, I lost my job today. Everything is fine. Business is running smooth for, this investment property, but I want to be fully transparent. This is what's happening. Hey man, just so you know, I'm going on vacation for 3 months. Can you hold down the fort? Cool. It's having open communication will get you so far in any relationship, but specifically in this situation, just because it is obviously financial. So just those two things. Again, you could go, I don't even know what Blanca's quote is, but you can definitely go further together versus by yourself.
Yeah. Alone you go fast, together you go far. Exactly. And just touching on kind of what Safra said, when you are being open to it and you're meeting with people, just ask questions, get a better understanding of kind of who they are, what they like to do. Are they going to be moving out of the country in the next years? Are they going to be getting married soon? Are they going to be buying their personal home soon? Just get a better understanding of everything. And again, we're professionals. We're here to help you. If you ever have any questions, if you don't know how to go about this, if you don't know how to create a contract for a joint venture partnership, we will help you with this. Even if we're not the ones helping you buy the house, we will still help 100%. You with this. We're here for you, and that's what we do. But yeah, this was just all about joint venture partnerships. I'm Boanka with the Compass team.
And it's Safraz with the Compass team.
And we're always here to help. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys on the next one.